friendly. What does that mean, Charles? It's something good. Oh, it means we're on? I was trying to interpret your thumbs up. Oh, that's what it is. What? Okay. Um, it's a new month. I've got a new series. We have a new artist we haven't met before, and I've just met him a few minutes ago, Kean Martin, and we're excited about him being here. And they're excited. And we just got in late last night from North Carolina, and it was great. And navigating through the texts about home was interesting. And we got here this morning, and I am doing a part of Michael Person's service today, so we're gonna. That starts at 1:00, and I'll give you the information. But if I'm going, Charles, if I'm going past 12:30, just cut me off because I've got to get out of here. And Ken's got to leave early and get to his granddaughter's birthday party, and somehow we will make. That's why I'm dressed up, and somehow we'll get there and go by and get the birthday cake for my mom and because she's 80 today, and try to pick up food and get everybody where I'm supposed to be. I will do it all stress-free, and my blood pressure is normal and wonderful, and I will answer all of your questions about, we're not going to Jekyll till August, so those questions might be able to wait till this afternoon. So, and thank you, because I didn't see her. She texted me later. But, okay, we're in agreement for a beautiful day, so please remain standing, and we'll get this started for the YouTube audience.
Hello, and welcome to Metron. Metron means measure and sphere of influence, and we want to help you find your Metron. Through motivation, enlightenment, transcendence, renewal, outreach, and networking. We're excited to have you here today, and hope you enjoy the service.
Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to Metron. Please give the YouTube audience a big hand. Wherever you are on the World Wide Web and the universe, we welcome you to the hippest, coolest little theater in beautiful Midtown Atlanta, historic neighborhood. We're glad that you found your way here today. Some of us came all the way down from Chattanooga this morning, so thank you for being here. Glad to see our friend Cesar, who's back, and I know you guys are back from Florida, still there. Yeah, still there. Good, and it's all good. I felt like it was time for us to meet some new people. I love all the people that we use, but I contacted Corey and I said, among your circle of musical friends, do you have somebody you could recommend for me? And he was right back in a heartbeat. He said, oh, absolutely, Kean Martin. He's great. You'll love him. And I've listened to some of his music, and it's excellent. I was trying to explain Metron to him. I said, now, I'm going to be in a collar tomorrow because I've got to do a funeral, but it's not really church. So you can do worship or you could do secular. And he said, it's okay. My dad's I'm a PK. My dad was a minister. I'm used to the flow. I said, okay, it's good. Love the whole retro Jimi Hendrix, big natural thing. I love that. Is that your album cover? I love that whole 60s vibe. I said, this guy's going to be great. He's going to be great. And yes. So if you do something from our generation, we will love you even more. I was trying to explain to him. I said, let me tell you, Metron is everybody from Judah being here leading worship. Everybody's got their hands up, to Chelsea Shag singing Imagine and singing songs about her girlfriend. So it's kind of like everything in between there. Paul said all things are lawful. He was prophesying the advent of Metron. So I know this is going to be a really good match. I thank Kean for his flexibility. June has 5 Sundays, and one of them he already has a commitment, so he will be gone one of the one of the Sundays this month, but he is here today. So without any further ado, and listen, Kian, if you have any product, if you have any website, if you Instagram, anything you want us to follow, we're all in. We'll become fans and stalkers and everything, and then you'll have to get a restraining order. It isn't pretty, but we mean well. So without any further ado, would you please welcome our new friend, Kian Martin. Kian, come do your thing.
Good morning, everyone. Metron family. I feel like you're a new family. Well, this is such a privilege. I absolutely thank you, Pastor, Bishop, church family. I am definitely a PK. So I would love to set the tone for this Sunday of just worship, just because God is truly the most divine thing that we can encounter. So will you all worship with me this morning? All right. Anybody want to chase after God this morning? Can you guys just put your hands together like this? Yeah. Because we know God is so great. He's so awesome. And we just want to think of his goodness, his mercy, how awesome he is. So this song is real easy. I'm chasing after you, no matter what I have to do. But I need you more and more. Yeah, I'm chasing after you, no matter what I have to do. But I need you more and more. Can you put your hands together with me? And as you catch the words, I invite you to just sing along. 'Cause I need you more and more. Anybody wanna chase after our God? No matter, say yes, but we need you more and more. This part is real easy. I wanna teach it to you. More and more. Yeah, see, more and more. If you think you can sing along with me, real easy. Sing more and more. You sing. You got it, don't be shy. More and more. Now we're gonna sing it one more time like this. I'm chasing after you. See, no matter what we have to do. Anybody excited to chase after the King of Kings? To chase after the Lord of Lords? We wanna chase after you, God, no matter what we have to face. 'Cause we need you more and more. It's your part, more and more. You sing. You got it? Sing more and more. I hear you, you can be louder. Sing more and more. Say. Sing more and more. And I like this part right here, listen. I'm chasing after you, yeah. I'm praising my way through. See, just to be closer to you. I'm chasing after you. Anybody, is that your desire today? Through thick and thin, we want to chase after his goodness, his mercy. Put your hands together. Yeah. I gotta praise my way through it. Hey, just to be closer to you. I'm chasing after you. We're gonna take it a little bit higher. Now I want your energy. Put your hands together like you got something to chase about this morning. I'm praising my way through it. Just to be closer to you. I'm chasing after you, yeah. So you all think you can catch that part? Sing, I'm chasing after you. Hey, I'm praising my way through, yeah. Hey, just to be closer to you. Just to be, I wanna be closer to you. To think and thin, see, yeah. Anybody, don't you wanna chase after our God? Yes, I gotta be close. No matter what life throws my way, don't you agree we gotta chase after you? Sing more and more. I gotta chase for more and more. Hey, I'm praising my way through it. Just to be. Don't get tired yet. We still got some more chasing to do. Oh, sing more and more. You sing more and more. Sing more and more. Let me hear you back there. Sing more and more. You sing more and more. Sing more and more. Can you just lift your hands if you want to chase this morning? Amen. Amen. Amen.
That'll work.
And because you know it's so necessary daily to chase after God. I found as a little boy growing up, feel free to take a seat. Yes. I found often as a little boy, you would be in worship. And of course, as a kid, you don't fully know what it means to worship. You just see your parents doing it. Yes, so you learn at an early age that worship is one of the most special things that we have to commune with our Father. Won't you agree? So there's this worship song that I remember hearing. Here I am to worship. Here I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you're my God. Please sing along. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. And I want to share the beautiful verse. Light of the world, you step down into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see beauty that makes this heart adore thee. Hope of a life spent with you. So here I am to, can't you just sing it from your heart this morning? Bow, here I am, that you're my God. You're all together, you're all together lovely, all together worthy, all together wonderful to me. And I love this verse. King of all kings, oh so highly exalted, all for love's sake became poor. Humbly you came to this earth you created, all for love's sake became poor. So here I am worship your Father this morning, yeah, to say that for all together all together. You're so worthy this morning. Wonderful. Can we sing it one more time? Say, here I am. Here I am too. We just want to say that you're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether one. There we go. All to me, and I love this part. For I'll never know just how much it costs to see my sins upon that cross. You sing it. I'll never know how much it costs to see my sins upon every heart. Can you lift it up and sing? I'll never, said we'll never know how much it costs you to stay on that cross for our sins. I'll never know how much it costs to see my sins upon that cross. So here I am to worship, and here I am to bow down. I just want to say from my heart that you are our God. Real sweet, one more time. You're altogether There's another worship song. Lord, if I find favor in your sight, Lord, please hear my heart's cry. I'm desperately waiting to be right where you are. I'll cross the hardest desert. I'll travel near or far for your glory. I will do anything just to see you, to behold you as my King. Can you just worship from your hearts? Lord, if I find favor in your sight, Lord, please hear my heart's cry. I'm desperately praying to be right where you are. Anybody searching for him? I'll cross the hottest desert. I'll travel near or far for your glory. I will do anything just to see you, Jesus, to behold you as my King. I wanna be where you are. Gotta be where you are. I wanna be where you are. I gotta be where you are. Can you all sing that? Said I wanna be where. I gotta be where you. Gotta be where you are. Amen. I wanna be where you are. Sing it one more time. Gotta be where you are. And I invite you in this moment to just close your eyes and imagine that you are just in the center of God's presence. And I want you to just look back over your life. Just take a moment and think about His splendor, His majesty, His goodness, His sovereignty, His holiness, His safety. And in your own way, I just want you to begin to just thank the Lord, thank our God. He's truly Alpha, He's Omega. There's nobody quite like Him. And I just invite you in this moment to just begin to just thank Him from your heart for all that He's done and anything that He means to you. For we want to be where you are. In the midst of our problems, gotta be where you are. In the midst of circumstance, wanna be where you are. We just gotta be where you are. We wanna be where you are. In your safety, gotta be where you are. There's deliverance where you are. There's healing where you are. Love where you are. For your glory, we will do anything just to see you, to behold you as our King. For your glory, yeah. Said we will do anything just to see you, Jesus, to behold you, wanna be where you are, gotta be where you are, just keep us where you are, gotta be where you are.
Kian Martin.
Amen.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Awesome. Awesome. Sweet spirit. I love it. Your picture on your album, you look a little, I'm surprised you're that laid back. I like it. I like it. Kian's going to be with us all month, so thank you. Once again, say thank you. You may be seated. Good morning, everybody. Glad everybody's here. Let me go ahead and say this so I can put my phone down and concentrate on what I want to talk about. So most of you know Michael Person, who was Pastor Michael Person for years. He did pass away this past week. I am participating in the service. I'll just read this to you. A service for Michael Person is Sunday, June 2nd at 1 p.m. at Gregory Levitt Funeral Home. That's 4347 Flat Shoals Parkway in Decatur. In lieu of flowers, the family is accepting cards, gifts, donations in the name of cell phones for soldiers. If you didn't get that, see Row. I've sent it to her. She's got all that information. And I will be there. Oh, there went the phone. Thank you, Ken. Yeah, it happened really suddenly with him. It was lymphoma, and he just went in for a regular checkup, and they had no idea it was that advanced. I think you'll understand what I mean by this, but I'm actually surprised they asked me to participate in the service, because Michael and I we ended awkwardly. But, when somebody goes to the other side, you have to let all that stuff go, and you honor somebody for the work's sake. And even though he had issues with me and was very vocal about, anybody ever says, you're surrounded by yes men, I'm like, let me introduce you to Michael Person. Because there's somebody on my staff and on my board that keeps it real. But he never took it out on the stage. I mean, he would give it to me in the office, but then he would go out on the stage and be totally professional, and showed up all those years and years and years in the prison ministry on top of that. And that's just the way he communicated. I'm glad my weight's down to go today, because he would tell me when that was, Bishop, you're gaining too much weight. You're really heavy up there on the stage. I'm like, so today I'm like, thank you, Jesus. How do you like me now? But you have no idea. Let me tell you about when somebody says, those guys in the ministry have such egos. Let me tell you something. If you didn't have a pretty healthy self-esteem, you would never survive 3 Sundays in the ministry, because everybody is so opinionated and whatever. So it's all good, and I'm actually honored they asked me to participate. And so if I will shut up, I can say my stuff and get there in time. We went to, those of you that follow me on social media already know this, but my friend Howie, who has the travel blog, he's trying to incorporate me into writing more for him. And the last article I did really well. And so we went to Wilmington. I don't know if any of you have ever been there before. It's really cool. It's beautiful. They have made every movie you have ever heard of in Wilmington. I had no idea that much stuff. They're like, there's not one alley you can walk down or one table you can sit in that there's not some anecdote about this is where so-and-so in Dawson's Creek broke up with so-and-so. I mean, it's like everywhere. So that was cool, and it's awesome, but it's a lot of work, because the I don't know if it's the Chamber of Commerce or whoever it is, they put together all these places they want you to see. And it's a lot. I mean, it's fun, but sweet Jesus, it's a lot. We went to lunch day before yesterday, in Wrightsville Beach. They wanted us to see that place, and I get this call that says, "Where are you? They're waiting for you at Airy Gardens with a tram. They're supposed to take you around there." I'm like, "We just said I can't. Y'all are expecting to be omnipresent." One of these restaurants we went to, it's kind of a high-end gourmet. It was fancy for me, so you can imagine. For other people, it was, I ain't eating that. And they kept bringing us out. Stuff. The chef made this for you, and it was. I mean, I don't want to brag, but I've been some places. The stuff that he was explaining on that plate, I'd never even heard of before. I'm just like, okay. It was just a lot of stuff, and I said, we got to eat some of it. I asked him, I said, why are you bringing us all this stuff? And they said, well, the Chamber of Commerce said to treat you really well. I'm like, okay, well, that's enough for right. I mean, we're doing, well, some of us are still doing the detox drink, and it's kind of crazy to do. I'm sorry, I'm throwing you under the bus today. But it's kind of crazy to go on a trip like this and eat all this stuff. Oh, sweet Lord, the bed and breakfast they put us in, you can't believe that. What it was like, lime stuffed French toast. And I mean, it's like you leave one gourmet meal to the next. And then we left there, and we went to Smithfield, which is where Ava Gardner was from. And they have a Ava Gardner museum there, and I was doing an article about that. And apparently I'm distantly related to her, which sure enough, we were in the cemetery yesterday, and I saw the Acox, which was my great-grandmother's maiden name, are all in there with the Gardners. So somehow we're related, and apparently my Uncle Don, it's also his 81st birthday today, Mom and Don are twins, he said that back in the day there was a big migration of tobacco farmers from Smithfield who went to Appling County, which is where my mom's family's from, and they were all tobacco farmers until they got filled with the Holy Ghost, and then it was like all the Church of God preachers told them you can't sell tobacco anymore, so it was a whole issue. Christians will wear you out, baby. I don't know if you saw and you knew who I was talking about. Karen and I have a mutual friend who's just gone through a terrible, shocking divorce that none of us saw coming, but it is. So anyway, I haven't even talked to her, but I'm following her on Instagram, and she's trying to get it together, and she's exercising with her. I'm like, yeah, okay, it's Reba, you know. And so I'm like, good, you know. So she made the mistake of saying she was doing a yoga class, and all these Christians start piling on to her about, my pastor said that'll open you up to demons because it's. I'm like, y'all, sweet Lord, I'm so glad I'm out of that system. I'm like, y'all, Jesus doesn't care if you go stretch and sit with your legs crossed. I promise you that Jesus is sitting in heaven going, now, you make sure, you know, it's so ridiculous. I'm reading, I thought, this is why I don't identify as Christian anymore. Love me some Jesus. But y'all Christians are whack. You just like, why wouldn't you? I mean, it's ridiculous. Why do you even have to have an opinion about it? If she's on there saying, I've decided to worship Satan, you'd be like, well, I didn't see that one coming, but, you know, work out your own salvation. Because, oh, Lord, it is. It's just like, you. And then somebody had posted one of my meditations on their page, and so somebody's going off. I mean, you can't believe the lectures about New Age theology and stuff. That's why I did the video. I was like, yeah, it doesn't offend me if you call me New Age. I am kind of New Agey. That's no big expose. You're not revealing me. I mean, I told you that up front. I'm beyond labels. And, you know, I'm in here speaking in tongues last week and leading you in transcendental meditation. So it's called being all things to all men. Not everybody understands that, and I don't care. I'm just saying to people, like, if you post me on your page, them Christians, they gonna weigh in, because those Christians are opinionated about every freaking thing. So anyway, purge, got that out. So how did I get from Ava Gardner there? Oh, the tobacco farmers. So anyway, it was great. We had a great time, and now I got to write these articles, and so it's awesome. So that was good. Our outreach this month is Angel Eyes Fitness and Nutrition, and the reason I'm doing this is Jeff Colglazer is actually on their board. Jeff and Marty do volunteer work with them, and he's the one that made me aware of it. It sounds like it's kind of in a way similar to the Helen Keller Foundation that we supported. You might want to tell me more about it, or we can talk about it later in the month. But I know it's a blindness prevention. Stand up and say what it is, because I'm going to say it wrong.
It's physical fitness and nutrition for the visually impaired.
Which is very worthy, and so he had asked me about it a couple months ago. I said, I've already got a couple of things on deck, but we will get to it. So people make me aware of things that they would like us to consider, and sometimes I'm able to do that. And don't be offended if I don't. I keep it all in mind, but when Jeff said that, I said, yeah, that sounds cool. We'll do that. So that's our outreach for this month, and thank you, Jeff and Marty, for your service with them. And that's the good thing about word of mouth. You know what I mean? It's like, I know, well, if y'all think it's valid, then you don't have to sell me on the idea, because I know you, and that's why recommendations are so important. I do have some news. We are for sure doing our Meditation 7 on August the 3rd and 4th. I had given you 3 options, and I think it was pretty obvious. I was kind of leaning toward Jekyll Island anyway, because I wanted to give you some input, and we needed to make sure, because of some of the storms that have happened there, some of the access to Driftwood Beach has been altered. So we wanted to make sure. I don't want to get you all down there, and then we can't get to where I want to take you. So Avery checked in with them, and we're good. Actually, some of the hotels even do a shuttle from there to Driftwood Beach. So that might even be something. We're going to do the sunset meditation there. We'll do the sunrise where we went last year, which it's a little more accessible. But Driftwood Beach is really cool and mysterious and awesome. I think there would just be a really nice energy about doing a meditation there. So I still have Callaway Gardens on the agenda, but Rosalind brought up a point that I actually had already made, that the best time to go to Callaway Gardens is in the springtime when the azaleas are blooming. So we'll consider that. And some of you had asked for Tybee, and Tybee's great, mainly because it's adjacent to Savannah, but there's not a lot of options on Tybee. It's smaller, and anyway, that's what we're going to do. We're going back to the beach. It's good for you. I keep seeing these articles about how you're not just making it up. The beach actually does stuff it alters brain chemistry. It's good for your blood pressure. There's whether you meditate or not, just being on the beach is very healthy for you. It's very cathartic and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to be on the message thread, look, you have to tell me to put you on the thread. I don't just do it. So don't be offended. It's like when you ever get a new phone or a new SIM card or something, and somebody sends you an anonymous text, and you say, "Who is this?" And they have an attitude like, "What do you mean who this is?" I'm like, "What? Why would you think I've got you in my phone? Identify yourself." So don't just assume that I'm going to put you on the thread. You have to tell me, put me on, and then I put you on the thread. That's how we communicate. And yes, thank you for communicating to Dr. Bridgman about that. Let's see. I don't have anything to announce about an event for June. This was really cool. So you left here last week and bought lunch for cops. That's so cool, and I love the diversity of them. There's even, I don't think she's in that picture, but there's a female cop, and it's okay, yeah. So that was cool, and Frances put that as her hashtag for living your best life, and that's very, very cool. That's I like it. So oh, okay, got it. If you'd hear what she said if you can buy lunch for an officer, any officer, but you have to pay the waitress, because if you pay them directly, it could be interpreted as giving them a bribe. So, yeah, well, cool. So continue to do your Year of Living Your Best Life 19 with the hashtag. Let's see, is that everything I needed to announce? Yes, I believe that it is. So if we're ready for the podcast people, we will get started. Welcome to the Metron Live podcast, coming to you live from beautiful, historic Midtown Atlanta. Metron people, please give the Metron Live people a hand. We welcome you. Once again, we thank Charles, the rock god of podcasting, who makes this possible. And thank you. This month, a lot of people are going to be gone, so I think BJ's gone a good bit of the month, and so everybody's having to kind of cover for everybody else. But all of this tech team are versatile, and they're all self-starters, so we will get through the month famously. I want to talk about miracles this month. I want to talk about the supernatural. My title for the series is Signs and Wonders Lifestyle, Developing the Supernatural and Creating the Miraculous. I'm just going to use one part of a verse of Scripture for a reference, and it's Mark chapter 16, verse 17, which that last little part of Mark 16 is actually not in original text, but you get in the weeds when you start, dissecting all of that. So I think what it says in Mark 16 sounds like what Jesus would have said. So I don't have any problem believing that it's original. But it's just this one phrase. It's and these signs shall follow them that believe. If you follow the rest of it, he says they'll cast out demons, they'll speak with new tongues, they'll take up serpents. If they drink any deadly thing, it shall not harm them. Some people have taken that literally, and that's where you get these snake handler churches, and that's really not what Jesus meant. But basically, he wasn't talking, I don't think, about these specific miracles. I think you miss the point if you say these are the 4 manifestations. What he's saying is, think outside the box. If you're a believer, signs and wonders should just become a natural occurrence with you. So, I keep using this reference, but back last year when, were we on St. Simon's when we were doing a meditation one night? I've already told you about this, but the dog was barking, just bark, 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 and he was messing up the thing. And as I'm leading everybody, I just went, shh, and he shut up. I didn't say anything about it. A couple of y'all were peeking, saying, I saw during meditation that you shut that dog up. I said, well, some people would think it was just a coincidence. Like I told my mom that, and she said, those people think a little too highly of you over there, which is what a mother should say. She said, I think that was just the dog. I thought, well, sorry, Mom. But it reminded me of the scripture where the voice of God speaks out of heaven. It says some people heard the voice of God and other people thought it was thunder. There's always going to be somebody somewhere who thinks they're going to try to downgrade your miracle. They're going to say, oh, that wasn't a miracle. That was just a fluke or whatever. So that just comes with the territory. I use this Einstein quote all the time. Albert Einstein said there's 2 ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. And I've specifically told you about things that have happened over the years. I remember I had told a story one night about a woman that used to go to my Bible school years ago who went to that first Washington for Jesus that they had in D.C. back in the late 70s. And she said she felt like God had told her, this woman, she had a mobile lunch counter thing. And she said, I wanted to go up there and just make free sandwiches for the people that were there for Washington for Jesus. So she said we were going to do it real easy. We just did like a big thing of pimento cheese and a big thing of chicken salad and a big thing of egg salad. It was just things that were spreadable so that people would just line up and you can just put it on the bread, boom, there you are. Like this is just a way to keep it moving. And she said, I didn't know how much to prepare for, so we just took what we had and we said, well, we'll do it until we give out. And she said, we were there, I forgot how many days, I want to say 4 days maybe, and whatever should have been gone by the afternoon lasted them for 4 days. She said, I don't know how to explain it, but she said, I would take the chicken salad, I'd put it on the bread, I'd hand it to somebody, turn back, and the thing was still full. And she said, some people say it's just a fluke or whatever. She said, I'm telling you, we did not. And would you turn that off, please? Which, by the way, let me say something about this was funny. You know, last week I was doing the I am things. I am this, I am that. They're not here today, but there's a new couple who was here last week. It must have been really cold in here because when they walked in, he said, I enjoyed the service, but I have an I am. I said, what? He said, I am cold. I said, so be it. Bring a jacket or snuggle up to somebody that looks cute. All right. So anyway, she said we never ran out. And she said even when what I was going to say is Washington for Jesus, it looked like the Peachtree Road Race. It was just like a sea of people. So there's no way to estimate how many people they fed, but the bread never ran out. They actually left Washington, D.C. with food left over, kind of like the 12 baskets full. So I had told that story many times, as I am wont to do, because my stories are fabulous, and I tell them over and over again. They're like wine. They get better with age. I make no apology for it. But I had told that story one night, and this is back when Greg Jennings was our youth pastor at Teen Planet. And this is back on Wednesday nights, we'd have 300, 400, 500 kids that came out. Teen Planet was bigger than most churches. And so they used to do a thing where he would give a free slice of pizza to first-time visitors. So they had a big crowd one night, just capacity crowd. And he got up and said, you know what, I'm just going to give pizza to everybody tonight. Well, his staff said, we don't have enough pizza. We just had enough for 2 or 3 first-time visitors. And he said, did you hear that story the bishop's been telling? He said, they just shut down on him. They said, we don't have enough. We do not have enough. So he said, bring me a knife. They didn't even have a knife. So he said, I went to my office and got a pair of scissors, and I just started cutting off slices of pizza. He said, I don't know how to tell you it happened. We fed everybody at Team Planet that night, and there was pizza left over. Now, I can't promise you that's going to happen every time, but I know credible people who have told me that that kind of thing happens. Now, this is where I want to go with this today, and I'm about to give you TMI, and this is, but you're just going to bear with me, because last week, I don't think they'll mind me saying this, Jack and Jackie were telling me that, her sister, who is a flight attendant, rode with them up from St. Simon's because she was flying to Africa. They get nearly to Dublin, so they were way up the road, and she said, I've left my wallet with my at my condo in St. Simon's, with my everything. There's no way, you can't go to a foreign country without all your stuff. And so the first miracle was that she didn't freak out that much. Like, they were like, you know what, we're going to figure it out, something's going to happen. And she actually said, is it okay that I tell this? She actually said, I forgive myself for leaving this, because apparently it must be the kind of, you ever done something stupid and you're like, oh, stupid, why do I always do this? Don't ever do that, because you end up reinforcing a negative. What, y'all do that? Y'all listen? So that was already a miracle. So I'm sure I'm leaving something out, but I think the idea was she was going to rent a car to go back, or whatever it was. You find some transportation to get back to St. Simon's to get the stuff. Well, she was going to fly back. Okay. So when she gets out of the car, because she's more in a more traditional church setting, Jackie prayed something that her sister would understand. She said, I prayed that an angel will go get that wallet and bring it here to this car. Her sister gets back in the car, I don't know how many minutes later, and she says, look, there's my wallet. Now, you can say it was probably in there, and she'd put it in some pocket in her pocketbook, and it fell out. And maybe it did. And if that was the case, it's still miraculous, because you still had to find it. Because even if you had it on you and it was hidden from you, it's still not going to do you any good. And let me tell you, I don't remember where we were flying, but it was when we had first gotten together. We were flying somewhere, and Ken hadn't flown that much. So I was telling him, I said, do you have your ID with you? And he said, yeah. I said, because you cannot go anywhere to the airport without ID. You've got to have it. I was being all lectury. Guess who didn't have his ID? So everywhere we went, you can't. Let me just say, I got really close to some TSA agents, because they had to pad me down and wand me, and I don't know what else. Some of it I've blocked out, but because it was a trip. Everywhere we went, you can't believe what they had to go through, because I said I do not have my, and I'd see Ken on the other side of the glass. I'm like, I know, I forgot. He's got his, I got mine. So he's on the other side of the glass going. So anyway, and when they told, who knows? Was it in there and she dropped it out? I don't know. And they had looked in that back seat. And I'm going to tell you something. I can relate to this. Avery went through a similar thing, because it was a Christmas party or something that Ken had written a check to help us with. And I think you wrote the wrong thing. And so Avery said, cancel that check. Whatever it was, there was a check you were looking for that Ken had written. It was in your, and Avery's always very organized, knows where everything is. Organization is her strong suit. She could not find it. I think you were trying to rewrite. It was, I don't remember all the details, but I remember somewhere, Ernie everywhere, and she sent me a picture of her wallet with a check in. I said, what's that? She said, that's that check that I've looked for. I can't tell you how many times I've looked in this wallet. I've taken everything out, and now somehow it's in there. We've talked about a piece of clothing that you look for in your closet. I know there are things, I've taken everything out of my closet and go, I know that thing is in here. And then I walk back in and it's in there. Now, again, you can say, oh, you were just hiding it from yourself. You didn't really see it. I don't know. Maybe the wind was blowing. Maybe it was thunder. Maybe it was the voice of God. Maybe I shut up the dog. Maybe the dog just moved on. I don't know. I want to lean toward believing it's miraculous. And do y'all know what I'm talking about? When you're looking for something and you have looked and looked and looked for that thing, and you walk out of a room and you come back in and there it is. I don't know if things just go into another dimension or whatever, but you know, I live in a small loft and we're pretty minimalist, so there's not many places I could put something. You know what I mean? It's like it has to be here. There's no other place. There's no attic. There's no basement or whatever. And then it'll be gone, and then it'll be back. All right, here's the part where it's TMI. You can decide if this is a miracle or not. I'm just telling you, I was thinking about this thing that you had just said about the wallet and Avery with the check. And it's happened to me lots of times. Something that I've looked for and can't find it. Did an angel bring it back? I don't know. So we're going to North Carolina this week. Y'all are going to laugh at this. So I had gone to the store. I'd bought a couple of new things I was going to wear, like a couple of T-shirts and shorts or whatever. I have it mapped out in my head. Okay, I'll take this. This goes with this. I'll wear this. I mean, it has to be those things because I'm like, I'll wear this Wednesday on the way up there. This goes with that, so I can do that. So I've got it all. I know these are the things I'm going to wear, and here's what I need with this. I had to wear a suit to the thing, so I'm like, okay, I've got that. Do I have? Oh, I need a black belt for that because I wouldn't be there. So I've thought it through, so I know what all my stuff is. Well, a couple of the pairs of shorts I had bought, you can't believe I'm telling this game, they were white polo shirts. So I don't wear white underwear. I just don't. I mean, I like colorful boxer briefs or whatever. So, but I have a pair of white jeans that I wear a couple times a summer. So I remember specifically buying drawers to get with those jeans because I'm not going to go commando. And if you wear, when I was raised right, I told you it's going to be TMI. You ain't ever heard Amanda Collar say the word commando before. Now you've heard it. Or draws. In my neighborhood, we say draws. So I've got one, maybe two pairs of them. That's the only time I ever wear them is when I wear this white jeans. Because if you wear like dark color underwear, you can see them and it makes it look like your jeans are dirty. And it's like you have to have the right undergarments. Could not find them anywhere. And I said, to remind me on the way up there, I've got to stop by some place, even if I just get some old school, whatever, tidy whities or whatever. I've got to get something. I don't wear those, but I got to get something. And that should be easy to find. I mean, I could probably find those in a CVS or something, you know, but just don't let me forget. Well, I'm telling you, it was like a they have no white underwear in North Carolina. I mean, apparently, North Carolina has banned the sale of white drawers. You can't find them. Am I kidding? Like every store, we even found, we were on this guy took us on a tour of movie sites, and Ken said, there's a men's store, and I said, excuse me a minute. I walked in there and said, do y'all, it was like a sports store. Do y'all have underwear? Yeah, we did. Well, they were all like crazy psychedelic. They looked like his album cover. I'm like, no, that's not going to work. Can't find them. So I had finally just thought, well, I'm going to have to recycle some outfit because this is what two of the events we were going to, this is what I was going to wear. And so I've got to not recycle my underwear, but recycle. I had clean drawers. They just weren't ones I could wear with two of the outfits. Y'all feel me? Like we had 5 events to go to and 2 of the outfits depended on, all right. So I finally thought, it's not that big a deal, whatever. I mean, I didn't pray about it. It was just like, well, this is an inconvenience. I can't believe. I mean, all I thought is, boy, I need to get not these drawers. I need to get my drawers more organized. I should be able to walk there and just find, because I know I've got them in there somewhere, and they must be tucked. So who knows where they are. So we're getting ready day before yesterday. Brushing my teeth, whatever. I have a backpack that I carry my computer in, and I carry all of my adapters, and there's a charger for my watch, and there's a bunch of stuff in there that I probably need to throw away from trips we've gone on that was like pamphlets to things like I'll go through this later. But I never have ever put clothing in there, ever. I go in the bathroom, I'm opening my computer case looking for something. Clean pair of white underwear in my backpack. So I walked out and said, "You're not going to believe what I just found." Now, I have no idea why, but they were mine. It wasn't like, somebody else's drawers in your backpack. No, it wasn't like that. Y'all get your mind on Jesus. I know what y'all were thinking. Nasty. In the house of God on a Sunday. I know what y'all were thinking. He found some drawers. No, it ain't like that. God help me. I mean, they were mine. I remember buying them. Just for the life of me, I can't imagine, why would I have ever put these in my computer backpack? Like what? Now, you could say, there must have been some, because it's got several compartments on it. So, I mean, I guess it's in the realm of possibility that we were taking some flight somewhere that I was just trying to do carry-ons. Maybe I put some extra underwear and socks in there. I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm just saying that if it did happen, it happened a long time ago, and I use that backpack every day. Every day. I am in that backpack every day, and I have never noticed any article of clothing. Now, again, you can say, that ain't a miracle. Fine. If that's the frequency you want to live in, look, if they had been red underwear, I wouldn't have even thought about it. I'd be like, what's that? It certainly wouldn't be. It's just that it was specifically the thing that I needed to wear that outfit that I had bought for that day. Now, I don't know. Did your sister drop out her wallet and everything, just didn't see it? I don't know. Why couldn't she see it? I mean, your back seat can only be so big. Jackie pulled the car over and went back there and looked. They looked under seats or whatever. They tore up that car, couldn't find it. Then she walks out and goes, oh, there it is. Now, I know I mentioned, like last week I was mentioning Danny finding the $20 in the ATM, or Francis somehow I mean, I don't mean getting home like speeding getting home. I mean like there's no way you could have gotten home that fast. So I keep seeing these little sort of, are they miracles? Are they not? There's such a preponderance of them lately that I'm getting to where I can't ignore them. I mean, what are the odds? I told y'all this a few months ago, and remember when I went through that whole thing trying to get storage facility at my loft? It was this whole deal because somebody was using the one that was assigned to me, and somebody was in there. So, like, for them to clear out a storage facility was like a big deal. It would mean like 5 different people would have to, and the concierge wasn't helping me. It just became an issue. And so I finally, I don't remember how it happened, but whatever it was, I finally worked out to get one, but they wouldn't give me a key to it. I'm like, what's the point of having a storage facility if you don't have a key? And it's like a huge hassle, especially if it's late at night. You've got to go down and find a concierge to come up and let you in. And I don't know if they had people stealing stuff. I don't know what it was. But I thought, this isn't even helping me because it's such an ordeal to I got to go down there, and what if the concierge is gone. I'll be back in half an hour, and I can't get into the thing. It was just, it wasn't like it was definitely a first world problem, but it was an aggravation. So Damien, some of you remember, that came here a few months ago, she was coming up from Florida, and she bought a painting from me. And the painting was in storage. So she was coming to Metron on a Sunday morning. We had been out of town, got it late on Saturday night, and I said, man, I've got to get that painting out. And there's one side of it I didn't paint. It's like I forgot, I left that side of the canvas blank. So I've got to find that thing because I can't, bring her an incomplete painting. We go, but I thought, I got to start this whole rigmarole trying to find the concierge to let me in. We walk in, my key, this is what my keychain is. It has the fob to my car. It has the key to the door of my loft and the key to my mailbox. That's all that's on there. I don't use a lot of keys in my life. So I don't have a key to this place. I don't, like there was a time I looked like a warden. I had so many keys, but I don't now. So I would notice, like there's this key this size, and then there's the mailbox key that's like that. A key and a half. That's all it's ever been. We're walking in. You remember this a few months ago? We're walking in. I said, I got to figure out how to get that painting. I go put my key in the doorknob, and I said, what is this other key on my keychain? What is this? I said, I don't remember. Believe me, I went through so much with management, I would have remembered if they'd handed me a key. They did not. There's no possible way this is a key to that storage facility. No way. I want you to know. I said, wait right here. I went there. It was the key to the storage facility. I open it. I get the painting. I'm like, I don't know how this key got on my keychain, but I'm going with it. I bring the painting back in, and I think I got to figure out. When I got rid of my, or not got rid of, but when I no longer had my studio, I don't keep paints at home. But I thought, oh man, I wish I had some red paint because I just need to paint this strip on the bottom of the thing. Francis had given us some basket of goodies or something. It was a basket that was with it, and I keep it on top of the refrigerator, and it's just stuff that I throw in there. I just thought, what the heck? I want you to know, I reached in there. There is a brand new tube of red paint that I had never opened. I don't know why it was there. So, within the first 15 minutes that we were home, I had gotten the painting. I had painted the side of it. Now, again, you could say, Bishop, you've had that key. You just forgot it. Fine. You live in that reality if you want to. Namaste. I have just found that the more these things happen, and the more I attribute them to the miraculous, the more they happen. For the people who say, well, that kind of stuff never happens to me. Exactly. That's precisely my point. If you don't look for them, you don't find them. When you look for them, you see them, you attract more to yourself. And I'm talking about getting to the place where any negative thing that happens, you immediately say, this is an opportunity for a miracle. I'm going to need a miracle here. So it's an interesting way of looking at life, but you get to a place where there's no negative thing. It's like this is just an opportunity. Not having white underwear was not a negative thing. It was, you can laugh. I know it is funny. I don't mind you laughing, but you can scoff at that and say, yeah. But I'm telling you, why the heck would I have a pair of my underwear in a backpack? And there it was. Backpack's not that big. I'm not going to bore y'all with the raisinette story again, but it was like the raisinette story. First timer's like, what's the raisinette story? You have to, some other night by the fireside, I'll tell you that. But whether you call that law of attraction or whatever, I'm telling you, it happens, and the more you talk it up, the more it happens. Now, you can say, well, I need miracles like raising the dead and healing cancer or whatever. Well, let me tell you how it starts. Empire Strikes Back. Luke Skywalker crashes his spaceship into the swamp. Yoda's teaching him how to levitate things. He can levitate the rocks. He tries to levitate his spaceship. Can't do it. Yoda says, I would try to do but it hurts my throat to do Yoda. Yoda says, if you could levitate the rock, you could levitate the spaceship. The difference is only in your mind. We have the ability to feed the 5,000. And let me tell you a big key to it. Jesus is preaching one day. Thousands of people are coming to hear him. This is back in a time when if you didn't just go out to eat after church. I mean, there's no restaurants. You had to bring food. These people had stayed so long that there was, it was getting late. They were going to spend the night. So Jesus says to his disciples, let's feed these people. And we know there were, at least back then, women were invisible. They just counted the men. And so there were thousands of people because they estimated 5,000 men. So that means women and children, easy estimate, 15,000. So you're talking like a small stadium full of people. And Jesus says, feed them. And the disciples were like, with what? And he says, and this is the key, this is what separates the miracle workers from the non-miracle workers. He says, what do we have? Those 4 words will change your life. Because the disciples were saying, we have a sea of hungry people. We have an impossible situation. Jesus did not deny the impossibility of it. He said, what do we have? And the way I picture it is nearly a mocking way they answered. To say, well, one little boy had enough foresight to pack a lunch. We got that. You could do something with that? It's just some pieces of bread and some piece of fish. That's what we have, Jesus. And he says, well, bring it to me. It says he blessed it. He broke it. They began to feed the people. 12 baskets of leftovers. And then a couple of chapters later, he did it again with a slightly smaller crowd. If you look at the impossibility of it, you will never get into the what do we have column. I don't tell you the things that go on with my parents, but it's a lot. It's a lot. And my dad has good days and bad days, and Dr. Sheila was over there last week, and it usually when people are there, he rises to the occasion. Yesterday was a very bad day. And somehow I didn't hear about it till we were driving back into town, so it didn't really affect our trip so much. But it's a lot. And I posted something last night. I was just going to, Ken was driving. I was just going to leave it up there for a little bit and just say, I just want to say I'm positive and I believe everything I posted today about the Miraculous, but man, dealing with a parent with dementia sucks. And I'll probably delete this in a minute. I just needed to say it. Well, of course, it's like Pandora's box. I don't even know how many. And I've decided to leave it up. I thought, you know what? It's fine. I can compartmentalize enough to say I'm believing for the best with my parents. I'm constantly saying, you and I are going to age and keep our right minds, and we're going to do all the, I was reading something the other day that says diet soda shrinks your brain and makes it more likely if you have Alzheimer's. I'm like spitting it out. I'm like, oh God almighty. Let's do all that we can to stay in the good column. And I've actually learned something from it, and I'm not trying to throw my dad under the bus. It's just interesting because I've noticed, because my grandmother went through the same thing. When people are in dementia, they'll get something on their mind, and there's no way you can convince them otherwise. Like, there's no point in rationalizing with it because it only makes them angry and aggressive. Like when we got back from St. Simon's, I had asked, Jared was going to stay another night. Dad did not want him in the house. Dad didn't know who he was. So he follows me out, Ken brings him out of the car, and he says, I want that boy out of my house. He said, and so I'm trying to explain to him. I showed him a picture of him with his grandson. I said, Dad, these are your grandsons. You have 3 grandsons and 1 granddaughter, and that's Jared, and he's just helping you. I said, you don't remember him picking you up last night when you fell and mom couldn't pick you up, whatever. I couldn't show him the picture enough. But this is what I thought, on some level, we all have dealt with some stupid thought that no matter what anybody tells us, we can't get past that thought. Like he's on it now, he's got it in his mind that he wants to go to the bank to see his money. And the more we try to explain to him, like there's not a vault that you open up and you show him the balance. It only ticks him off. So now we just say, all right, we'll go tomorrow. We'll take you tomorrow. Because when you try to explain it, it makes him mad. But what I've learned from it is I don't have dementia, but I think there's crazy thoughts that have lodged in my head that no matter what, it's like seeing somebody with anorexia that weighs 80 pounds, and no matter how much you tell them your skin and bones, they see themselves fat. And the more you tell them they're skinny, it only makes them double down and see themselves that way. So even Jesus said, no man comes to the Father unless the Father draws him. This is why it's pointless. Part of that video I made last night was about, bless his heart, there's this video of Kenneth Copeland defending his airplane to this, and it's bad. It's not a good look for him. And, it's very bad. And what I wanted to say is just don't try to explain that, because your followers who think that's great are going to think you or Creflo Dollar or any of these people that have planes, they're on the page with you. They're fine. The people who think a minister shouldn't have that, there's not enough explaining in the world you could do to change their mind. So what you should just say, not that you're asking me, you should just say is, yeah, I have a big ministry. I have my own plane. I don't like to fly commercial. A lot of people have a problem with it. I understand. Boom, you're done. Because it ain't going to change anybody, no matter how much you try to explain something, because people have a thing in their mind. I realized, and I don't have to deal with it now, but there's a way that people think of megachurch pastors that I'm out of that now. But there was, the stuff that people would accuse me of, just crazy. Some of y'all remember, so like there was a family across the street from me. Their kids went to prom. So they rented a Hummer limo for all of these little high school couples. It was parked in front of my house. They ended up writing an article in the paper about my lavish lifestyle. I can't believe his church is just 10 minutes away, and he has to have a Hummer limo take him to church. The more you try to explain it, the more you finally just go, y'all are idiots. I'm leaving town. I'm going to Atlanta. That's how I left it. Judah says, I'm going out there. I'm like, go with God. Lots of luck. Just don't have anything out here because they don't like that out there. But the more I would try to explain how ridiculous, like there was even a thing that was written about how I had a landing strip behind my house for my private plane. I'm like, have y'all ever been to Covington? It's like a street. It's the street in front of the Baptist church that goes back. If I had a plane, there's not. First of all, what a ludicrous idea to fly from Covington to Conyers. It wouldn't even be worth getting off the ground. You could drive quicker. It's right there. But I learned this is ridiculous because they have a thing in their mind. I'm all about the money. I make too much money. The more I try to explain it, all they see is dollar signs. Yeah, thank you, Charles. Yeah. And I'd hear it on planes. I was by a guy on a plane. He said, "Are you pastor of that church in the now?" I said, "Yeah." Why? He said, "Is it true you have 6 ATMs in your Ford?" And the stories just got crazier and crazier and crazier. I'd get to where I just dread going to a restaurant because the server would come up and say, "Can I ask you a question?" I'm like, "Please don't, because this is going to be something really stupid." And it always was. And then the next time I go by, the place is closed. I'm like, "Oh, I wish y'all would quit cursing me because it makes your restaurant close. And there's few enough places to eat here as is. Please don't do this to me. It's going to ruin your business." I don't know why it works this way. I'm just telling you, every one of these restaurants has an attitude with me. Y'all go out of business. Y'all need to bless me because it's making it really hard on you. And I'm going to end up eating at Burger King all the time. There's no place to eat. But my point, and I don't mean to sound like I'm not making light of my debt. It actually has gotten my attention. Like, I wonder, are there wrong things that I think that are holding me back that other people can see, but I can't see it? Do you understand what I'm saying? So you think, is there one thought that's keeping me from the miraculous? Because I think, yeah, it's the putting the net on the other side of the boat. Right. Well, even do you mind me about our conversation? Well, even when I'm gone, I'm always pastoring. I mean, we were at dinner the other night. I probably talked to 7 different people who contacted, which is fine, either through text or calling. One of them was Karen, and I've known Karen for a long time. She's like family, and Karen's gone through a lot. I mean, when you read positive posts of her, you're like, that's pretty amazing. She had texted me. She said, "I just need to ask you about something. There's a check that needs to come in. It's my money. I've been waiting on it, but I needed it, and it's not coming in. And I need to know, is there something in me that's blocking it? Whatever. I need your agreement, whatever." It's too long to text. I just called her back. I said, basically what I said is, forget about the check, because I know what that's like. There's a check that we're waiting for Metron that, frankly, we need. I mean, we need. And I finally had to say, you know what? It'll be here when it's here, because there's a weird thing that happens when you are counting on this check and you're waiting for it. I don't know why it does this, but it's like you need, and it's your money. It's not like you're praying for, but it's like you're waiting for this thing, and it nearly holds up. Well, then she says she got it, and then she texts me the next day and goes, "Well, the check will be here Wednesday." I'm like, "I told you that." Yeah, but that's the kind of thing that, if you, this is what I think it is. I think it's you're supposed to find the miraculous, and if you're waiting for the check or whatever the thing is for you, you're opting out of the miraculous. Jesus said the disciples need to pay their taxes, so he says, go look for money in the fish's mouth. It's like the most ludicrous place you could think of. But what he was saying is, money can come from anywhere. And if you start even if, I'm not telling you not to work, but even if you start thinking that your paycheck is your source, you are opting out of the miraculous. Go ahead and show up for work and and if somebody owes you money, get the money. But if you start thinking that I got to have this salary and these benefits, whatever, you've opted out of the miracle zone. So go ahead and do your natural part, but don't forfeit the supernatural. And I learned what I was telling you the other night. And I see you, Charles. I got to wrap it up. But I remember years ago, there was a ministry I used to do a thing for every year, and I would go lead worship for them. And they paid me the exact same amount of money every year. And so I kind of learned this back in the day when I was really watching my money. And so and it's when Debbie and I were married, and there were certain bills. I think, well, that check will come in, so we'll pay for that with this, whatever. So when you got it in your mind, like, well, that'll come in. Well, I went and did the thing, and usually they gave me the check the night of. and their printer was down or whatever, and they said, we'll send it. Well, you know how it is when you're like, I know, I kind of need it tonight, but okay, fine. And it's like, you're looking in the mailbox 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, like, oh, gonna really need that check. So finally, you call the office and go, I'm so embarrassed to have to ask you this, but I just want to make sure y'all have my address because the check for the 3 nights I just did for y'all, whatever. Oh yeah, we're gonna send it. Still didn't come. These are somebody I've known for years, so I don't want to make the relationship awkward with them or whatever. So in my religious whatever, I remember leaving the office one day as I'm going to the monastery to pray. So I go out of the monastery, and clear as a bell, before I open my mouth, I hear what I believe is God. The voice says, "Shut up about the check." And I was back like in 10 minutes. I walked in and Debbie said, I remember she said, "Why are you back already?" I said, "God told me not to ever mention that check again." Because that check had become, we had just shut down, like the great check. Jesus said, you will serve one or two masters. You cannot serve God and mammon. So if you're constantly asking, mammon, may I, we'd like to do it, but we can't afford it. Don't say that, because you're letting money decide what you're going to do. So I remember letting it go. I thought, I don't even want to pray about this anymore. I'm sick of stressing over it. Somehow, every bill was paid. The check came in the following week, which ended up like icing on the cake. It's like, well, this is great, because we somehow, I don't know how we did it, but we paid everything without it. So now this is just gravy, And so these are things that you learn. Like, it's important to work with your hands. It's important to plan. But don't get yourself totally out of the miracle zone. Let me go through this real quick, very quick. Let me show you these. St. Augustine of Hippo says this: miracles happen not in opposition to nature, but in opposition to what we know of nature. Next thing, JoyBell C says, and so people ask God for signs and wonders, yet when signs are given and wonders are performed, most can't even see them. I therefore believe that it's not signs people should be asking God for, but you should be asking God for sight. Dr. Dispenza says this: as long as you are thinking equal to your environment, you keep creating the same life. To truly change is to think greater than your environment. To think greater than the circumstances in your life, to think greater than the conditions in the world. One more, let me see. I've never quoted John Bon Jovi before, but I like what he said. He says, miracles happen every day. Change your perception of what a miracle is, and you'll see them all around you. Hear, John Bon Jovi. Dr. C.S. Lewis said this: miracles are a retelling in small letters of the very same story which is written across the whole world in letters too large for some of us to see. And then finally, this is a meme, and I just love the concept of this. It's just very simply, it says, we live on a blue planet that circles around a ball of fire next to a moon that moves the sea. And you don't believe in miracles? So what it's saying is everything in your world is miraculous. I don't know enough about science to explain this, but as I understand it, if we were just like that much closer to the sun, we would burn up. Or if we were that much further away, we would freeze to death. We're just somehow in the zone where we just hit it right, and it's been going on forever. It's a miracle. That moon we saw come up out of the ocean the other night, miracle. Don't stop talking about them, because the more you talk about them, the more you create them. That's all I got. Did you get anything out of this? All right, let's all stand. Hit this, please, for the...
Contributing to Metron is quick and easy. You can give anytime using any smartphone. Text the amount you would like to donate to 404-620-5044. You will then receive a notification that you successfully completed your donation. You may also visit bishopthenow.com and click the support tab to give there as well. When you contribute to Metron, you're also donating to the charity or organization of the month. Thank you for your investment into Metron.
If you have a check, make it to JESM, and somebody will be back there to receive it. If you have cash, you can pay it forward, or if you want to bless Kian, we'll give him a check later. But if you want to go ahead and do that now, you can certainly do that. And thank you so much, Kian. It was great. We love having you this month. Did you get anything out of this today? Miracles. Don't walk out and go, now he's preaching about the miracle of the white underwear. He's done lost his mind. The miracle of the draws. All right. I know Ken's got to get out to Eatonton, so some of y'all can help with a quick teardown. I've got to get out to this service. So I speak a blessing over you. I just release miracles in your life this week. I love you very much. See you next week.